Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 2nd of December. So, as the Christmas trees go up, let's have a look at the markets for today. And I'm just looking at the potential data that's coming out which will have any impact. And we've got the US manufacturing data coming out there, which 2:45, 3 o'clock could create some volatility. We've seen it more recently that's creating more than it had been. Got an FOMC speaker. Let's just check. Due to speak about the economic outlook at the American Institute. Okay, it was an economic outlook, so that's possibly going to come into play a little bit more later. Let's just have a check through. We've got lots of lighter data coming out this morning. They put this as high level, but it doesn't have much in the way of impact on here. That's it really then, and they haven't got the speaker on later. Okay, right, so not a great deal at the moment. This morning we've seen Australian data come out slightly better, and we've seen a bit of a white flag. It's not necessarily a white flag, but at least some sensible action continuing there. Anyway, in China. Right, let's have a look at these markets starting top down. I was just saying that let's turn that off for now. I was wondering if we'd get a bear flag. Well, we were sitting in a bear flag territory. Wonder if it roll over today, where it's rolling over already. It's a shame we haven't run up and caught the pivot, to be fair. It'd be much nicer to, as we saw last month, quite early on. Now, that's not to say this won't all turn around and catch up there at some point, but it's just a lovely kicker when it comes off. It's gone already. I was sitting there looking for it on Friday to happen, and well, it just, as I say, just went sideward. There was no real action there. It had already done so much on Friday. It hit the R2. I mean, the pivots were pinched from the very low volume the day before. The volume was pretty light on Friday as well. Eventually, look, we've started selling off during the Asian session there, and well, still looks soft here. We've already hit the S1, S2. I think I might have said S1, S2. That was R1, R2 on Friday. But I think there's potential for this to break out more. It's broken out of its ascending channel there. Generally, we'd expect the depth of that channel to work its way out from wherever it broke out, and it's a bit messy here. It broke out, came back, well, almost retested, then went. But I'd probably measure it from the almost retest area. It's probably about halfway there now of that channel. So not give me an immediate trade, but I still look for that for swing trades going forwards. The pound might give a similar sort of bit of price action. It's not quite there yet. Let's have a look at the upper time frames here. Again, it hasn't caught it'd be nice if it had caught the monthly pivot. It's showing some weakness here. Looks some structural change, which will then go back into line with the original bigger daily trend, daily and weekly trend. If this happens, maybe looking for a break of Friday's low there. It's done very little so far today. It did on the open, it did its move, but holding up's just that bit better. Okay, as the pound, dollar yen. So I'm expecting more downside on this. Really, again, looking for a potential retrace and then a move down here. So the yen is certainly strengthening against the dollar, whereas the others are weakening, just so you get the picture there. At the moment, at least, it's looking softer again. We could see this coming off later this afternoon, maybe this morning. Didn't do a lot on Friday either. We saw Thursday come in. Friday it had the big move before we could do anything, and it didn't really do anything more. Even in the afternoon there, it didn't really kick in. That's at 5 o'clock actually. Didn't kick too much in. Would be expected business back to normal today in terms of volumes. Australian dollar chopping along here on the dailies. It's not really giving us too much in the way of guidance, looking at it from a weekly perspective, you can see how choppy it was last week. It's very mixed, very ugly. Can't see a picture. Look back later. US dollar CAD. Now the CAD looked at one stage that we were going to see a continuation of strength, but maybe if the dollar's starting to strengthen again, we'll see a break of these highs here, and it'll be off for another push, maybe towards its weekly R1 there. So at this stage, the dollar looks like it's, apart from against the yen, it looks like it's strengthening. New Zealand dollar. Okay, New Zealand dollar's gone into its monthly pivot here, just tapped on it. It was a lot closer to price action. It's above its weekly at the moment. It becomes more bearish to me if it breaks that weekly and those lows between the two highs. There'll probably be on a few calculations some divergence, or there would have been. It may have worked its way off a little bit, but either way, just sort of looking for the breakdown as we run through the week here, a bit lower down. Just want to see a confirmation on that really. It held up a bit better last week. Dollar Swissy, largely not doing a great deal here. Softening again as we look at it at the moment. It softened. Yeah, maybe the dollar's going to continue its route with the Swissy softening further. We've taken out this previous high here. It is in a bit of a range at the moment, and if it fails to run back through that, well, we could be seeing it running back down to these lows. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Euro yen, well, just shows you how weak the euro's gone this morning. Daily perspective, it's certainly in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. I looked at this early doors, and well, it was going sideways at the time. It's rolled over now in this current hour. It's hit the S1, hasn't hit the pivot. Better probability of running through towards its S2 as the day continues. So looking soft there, and the only way I'd trade that is to the downside. That's the majors. It was a pound CAD I was looking at last week. Oh, it's gone ugly. Now what was I looking for in the pound CAD? The pound CAD possibly short on a 240-minute time frame I was looking at there. Yeah, it didn't. I did. It's come back to the underside of the quarterly pivot there, and it's reacted a couple of times. This might roll back a bit more, so I should watch this carefully. It's got its weekly pivot below as a bit of a draw. It's already below its daily at the moment, looking softish, struggling. Maybe later on that one it looks softish. And I was looking at the Aussie New Zealand as it happens as a possible short on Friday when we did our review of the markets and the bigger picture. Well, this is starting to work already. Looking a little bit on the softer side, but some of the better moves on this happen in the afternoon more recently. Now we've seen it already move. The best moves are through the Asian session, and then the morning session, UK morning session, tends to be a little bit quieter on it, and then we get the better moves US afternoon session. Particularly we've got a bit of news out later from the US that might help get things rolling. So not a great deal there. There's some things to watch for, and I'll carry on watching for. Gold is looking really struggled. It was trying to do something last week. Even this is coming off a little bit here, maybe for a further move downsides. We've done this seen this A move, B move, maybe down for the C. So I'd look for an extension of this move from the high there to see where it's heading for, but it does look softish. Oil fractionally down this morning, but it's really ranging, tight range. Ugly last week, most of the week there. I mean, this short term, there's opportunities. It's like gold. It's if you want to be scalping, there's opportunities. Often people get caught out on those moves. Eventually, we'll see. You've got to be good with your closing and the losing positions if you're scalping into things like gold, and have decent enough stops on them, of course, in the first place. Okay, this oil, to me, it's taken out the lows now. I was looking at these lows over here. Now it's taken those out, and it does look soft. Maybe again, I'll trade this towards 2 o'clock-ish time, so I'll look at this later this afternoon, but I'm looking for the sell side on that at the moment. Right, equity markets, just for those that are following, these have been running down on the short time frame. It's down this morning at least, but I mean on Friday yet again it put in a new all-time high, and it's that year of new all-time highs seems to be a regular occurrence. That's the thing when it's a rallying market in an upward market. I would look at potential opportunities to buy off the weekly pivot there if it keeps coming off. It's below the dailies at the moment, but the weekly will play ball better, I would imagine. However, having said that, if it just runs through the weekly pivot, watch out, and that monthly pivot may provide some decent support. Right, looking closer then, FTSE is ugly as sin. Consolidating. I thought this was the hourly chart at the moment. It's the daily chart. You can see how choppy things are. Not really giving us much opportunity. I'm not into those sort of markets. It is a coin toss, and I want at least a bit of probability on my side. And the DAX, well, it has broken into the highs. Actually, it's just reacting to them. It run into the highs there, reacting. Looking at the moment that we're getting a little ball flag, so there is the scope for this to roll back. Now, whether it comes all the way back to its weekly pivot would be ideal, and get a bounce off of that. That could give a move going forward for the rest of the day, and maybe the early part of the week. Okay, so a bit of patience this morning, but I'm really, in summary, looking at the likes of the euro, the opportunities to sell. I probably need a little retrace from that. That's now rolling over better than I'd liked it to have been, but yeah, a bit earlier than I'd like it to have done as well, but it will get opportunities, so I'll be hanging in there looking for those. Right, catch you later. I'll speak to you YouTubers tomorrow morning.